Hey everybody. Another one with minimal editing, but I'm trying to get these out on time. I've had several requests to go over Lyme disease. It is camping season, so I thought, why not? Just like always, we're going to go over what it is, um, what the pathology looks like, what your risks are, and prevention, right? So, Lyme disease is named after Lyme, Connecticut, where there was a major outbreak in, I think, 1970. So, it's an unfortunate thing to be associated with your town name, but sorry, Connecticut. It's another zoonotic vector-borne disease, just like malaria or rabies or something like that, right? So it means it's spread by animals, and it has animal reservoirs, which means we're not getting rid of it, right? That said, the bacteria that this one that is caused that causes this disease is called the Borrelia bacteria genus. There's a handful of species of that bacteria, but they're spread in humans by about 4 tick species, 2 in the United States, and then 1 each in Europe and Asia. These are the only species known to spread it to humans. So essentially, the bacteria will replicate in the gut of the tick, and then when it's ready, it'll hustle them up to the salivary glands, and from there jump into a new host. So when a tick bites a person, it'll travel into the bite. It'll use the suppression of the immune system caused by the saliva of the tick to its advantage, gives it a bit of a head start as far as combating the immune system, and then it'll dump into the dermis, which is a layer of the skin, and there it'll replicate, and from there it'll spread out. In that dermis, it'll cause inflammation. This gives the distinctive bullseye shape rash that you get with Lyme disease. Seriously, look it up. It's crazy. It looks just like a bullseye. And then slowly starts spreading out, right? And from there, it'll spread out to, over the course of a few days to a few weeks, it'll spread out from the skin to your heart, to your nervous system, other places in the skin, different parts of the body, right? The big issue is, of course, the nervous system. So if it gets into the brain, it'll cause cell death and some very important cells that will cause problems like facial palsy, will cause changes in your emotions because it disrupts the serotonin cycle, literally causing you to be more depressed, causes body aches, fatigue, the things that you'd expect from a bacterial infection, right? So all in all, not great. Probably won't kill you. Still not fun to have, right? So especially the longer that you have it, because it can give you fairly severe nerve pains if it goes untreated for months at a time, as well as, like I said, the facial drooping called facial palsy, right? Because you have lack of control over your nervous system. So talk about risk for a second. Risk for this one is substantially lower if you don't go outside. It is tick-borne, right? But if you are in contact with ticks, in other words, if you like to go out into the wilderness, your chances are higher, especially during camping season. Ticks are cold-blooded animals. They are much more active in the summer months, just like we are, right? So, not that we're cold-blooded animals, but if you live essentially east of Appalachia, so think Georgia, not Georgia, maybe Virginia, all the way up to Maine. If you live in places like Minnesota or Wisconsin or even Northern California, there's probably a tick species near you that spreads Lyme disease. Most people end up getting it in their own yards or just walking their pets. So don't think you're safe just because you don't go on crazy hikes like people like me. That said, a tick does need to be in contact with you for about 36 to 48 hours before it'll spread Lyme disease to you. So don't feel like, once you're bit, it's all over, right? You can get tested, but certainly not something to be alarmist about. So essentially, if you want to prevent yourself from getting Lyme disease at all, definitely if you're outside at all during the summer months and you're in these areas, you're going to want to check your clothes, you're going to want to check your body. I mean, after a long hike, you want to take a shower anyway. It's a perfect time to check the important areas. Check basically anywhere a tick could kind of tuck away and be out of sight, out of mind. So think armpits, back of the knees, groin area, your hair, back of your ears, armpits, belly button. Just look around, even your waistline, because it'll tuck in there if it gets inside your pant, your waistline. Just check your bodies. if you want to prevent getting bitten by the ticks, which is the easiest way to prevent Lyme disease, obviously, your best thing is something like permethrin, spray of that on your clothes, and then let your clothes dry before you go on a hike, or you go camping. Spray it on your gear. Really, any insect repellent that is EPA approved is probably going to be fine to help you prevent these. But always, check your socks. That's basically anywhere where there's a seam. That's going to be a place that you want to check. And just be vigilant. Ticks are reasonably easy to find if you or say your partner can give you a once over, but like I said, if you can get it off within 36 to 48 hours, you're probably fine. Most tick species in the United States, you're looking at maybe 1% chance of getting Lyme disease. That's not to say that it doesn't happen. 500,000 people every year, just under 500,000 people every year do get Lyme disease. So not a huge concern. Antibiotics will treat it. You're not going to have it forever. I know that's a myth that's going around that once you get it, you're always going to get it. And not a really big chance that you're going to spread it to anybody else. And this is, you're looking at maybe, so there's no sexual transmission on this one. It's not going to get in your breast milk. So you don't really have to worry about anything other than yourself. Just stay away from the ticks. As far as the future goes, I like to cover this, but I keep covering these weird zoonotic diseases that aren't going anywhere, right? We're never going to be able to get rid of the deer tick species anytime soon. If we do, it'll be with things like the gene drive technology that I talked about on previous videos. But because it's comparatively mild, compared to things like rabies, which is always lethal once the symptoms come, or malaria, which kills as many people a year as get Lyme disease, this is kind of lower on the list. So I'm not expecting it to go anywhere anytime soon. Just, be a little bit vigilant. And if you do contract it, like you said, if you see that bullseye-shaped rash on your skin, just go get some antibiotics, talk to your doctor, and you'll be okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for taking some time to watch the video. If there are any other diseases you want me to cover, let me know. And if there's anything you feel like I missed, if you want me to go in more depth or less depth, let me know as well. I'll try to make these videos as helpful as possible for you so that you can take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Anyway, take care, guys. Bye.